Hello there, once again, this is Anton from Anton Obey. Thank you guys for stopping by the collection room. Today I'm taking a look at some more comics. This is AC Comics Jungle Girls. These are about 50, maybe 70% reprints of classic old jungle titles from like the 40s and 50s. A lot of them produced by like Fiction House and in the open era of copyright. So this one features Rula, jungle goddess. There are many jungle queens and jungle girls, all wearing different animal skins. That's how you can usually tell them apart. This is not an original cover though. This is clearly a much more risque modern cover. This was done by Bill Black. Bill Black does love the curviness of the woman, so he's got that going on. And this would have came out 1992. And this, you can see, is not an old story, or not a new story. This is an old reprinted tale. I mean, you can just tell by looking at it. So if you look over here on this side, beauties who swung through the four-color jungles in the 1940s and 50s. Good girl artist, Mr. Matt Baker. Thanks to Fiction's House collector, Pete Levitz, from the early 60s. With no fewer than 10 complete stories of the original art. Baker's Tiger Girl and Fight Comics, very common titles that featured a lot of jungle girls. This one is particularly from 1945. But that's the kind. This was like standard kids fare in 1945, which is kind of funny. They also do some highlights of Irish McCall's TV's Sheena, the Jungle Queen or whatever. Anyways, so this would be your typical stuff. This would have been color back in the day, but for reprint purposes, it looks like we can't quite pull that off. It does look like maybe they have retouched up the inks on this because it looks a little poppin', like sharp. At least maybe that's just the printer and the way it came out, but it does look very sharp and clear. Some of these comics in their age tended to fade pretty well. And a lot of older stuff has very boring panel shapes. These at least have some spunk and some design and some shape to their panels. And I appreciate that because it really makes the page flow a lot better. And it's also, even though it has plenty of dialogue, it's not like buried in dialogue like some of the EC comics tend to be. You can see the interior art is, well, I don't know if this would be considered risque for back in the day or not. I don't know. I don't know what was normal back then. I guess if this was what was out, this would be what was normal. I know it kind of got buffered later in the 60s through the seduction of the innocent, but pre-code stuff, I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there's a lot of the topics that they cover and things like that which are not PC to the modern era. But as far as the outfits that everybody's wearing, I don't know. Not positive. So there's Tiger Girl, and I want to make a correction. My last video, I confused Tiger Girl with Camilla, the Jungle Queen. And that's because they both wear black and white leopard. They're both blonde. They both have a crown in their hair. But her design of her suit is different than Camilla's, and certainly her backstory is different than Camilla's. So I wanted to set that straight. Tiger Girl, different than Camilla. My mistake on that. But interesting nonetheless. At least as I understand it. If I am wrong, if somebody knows their jungle girls better than me, break them out. But I was surprised because I described the backstory of Camilla, and then I saw that and I was like, oh wait, no, Camilla is different than Tiger Girl. So either way, you can see the panels here are a little bit more basic, a little bit more plain. You get some advertisements for everybody's favorite FemForce. We love FemForce here on this channel. A lot of my fans love FemForce. It's a book. They don't make them like that anymore, except that AC Comics is still making them. Kind of waiting to see. I'm not actually seeing any modern stories. All I'm seeing in this are reprints, which I'm fine with. The cover was certainly an original. I guess we'll wait and see. If we get to the back, we'll be able to tell. We should be able to tell by looking if it's a reprint or if it's a new story. And these definitely look like old reprints. But very, very well done, very well printed. Yeah, I think that would be cold. You should be cold. That's a very cold outfit to be wearing out there. I would love to see these in color. I see them in color like online and stuff. You can kind of look some of these up. But the price for books like this are pricey. Shoot, the price for the reprints is steeper than I would like them to be. I think I picked up these quite some time ago. There's Irish Macalla. I picked these up quite some time ago, and I had to pay, dang, $7 to $10 an issue to pick these up. For 14 books, that gets pricey. That gets extremely expensive over time, but just for the reprints alone, that's what it was running. Very expensive stuff, but where else am I going to get it? Where else are you going to see this stuff? Original copies are, of course, out of most people's range, and there isn't a lot left to choose from on some of these. So you're left with like reprints of large back issues or omnibuses, and I'm not really familiar if they have many omnibus versions of these. I haven't seen any, but maybe I need to shop a little harder. The only things I've ever been able to find are these. I know Fiction House does some big thick reprints, hardbacks and stuff like that of their Planet Comics series, which I have been tempted to get into. But geez, even a lot of those are, you know, $30 to $50 books, and it just gets pricey, guys. I'm not made of money. And I certainly don't invest the kind of money into some of my hobbies as I used to. Art by Matt Baker, very much a classic artist of this time period. Oof, itchy. So yeah, I mean, you can tell by looking. Their depictions of natives, their depictions of animal murder, and of course the outfits. It's just not stuff you're probably going to get in too many modern books. It's not going to fly with most of your audiences these days. And you have to look at these things as you do with any old reprints or any old comics. Try to imagine the eye of the era. I know it's hard, but it's just a thing you got to do. To appreciate this and see what it was for the time, kind of put yourself in the mind frame of what was going on with the world in those times. It's a different world. And shoot, it's a different world than it was here when I was young, in the 80s and 90s. Don't even recognize it. And that's what makes some of these old comics, whether they're un-PC or not, or whether they're considered distasteful by the modern audience, to me, that's what makes them desirable, is because they don't fit in with the modern era anymore. These don't fly anymore. You know, you're probably not gonna do well printing up some of these. It's just not how it's gonna go. Trying to publish these. I know AC is still pulling it off with their FemForce title, but they are a lone warrior out there in a very, very woke world, and it's refreshing to see them, but it's also very, very refreshing to go back and just look at some of the original work, some of the original art, some of the original stories. I'm not going to say simpler times, but definitely different times. So anytime you look at old books and you go like, ooh, that's kind of, ooh, I can't believe they had that in there. Remember your audience, remember your time periods. Nothing is the same anymore, not even the people reading them. So anyway, that's my little soapbox on vintage comics. I love these things. Obviously, I've gone through a great deal of effort to track them down, take a look at them, promote them, encourage others to kind of track down and see what used to be. Nyoka, that's pronounced Nyoka, the Jungle Girl. Probably the least jungly of all the Jungle Girls. She always wears like khakis and outfits like that. None of the leopard skin or anything like that. It's always khakis, which I respect. You got to respect that. Cave Girl. Technically a jungle girl, but like from a lost from a lost universe, if I remember correctly. But still, I think the thing that sells me the most on these old gals is their 1940s and 50s hairstyles and the way they're painted or drawn and the way their eyebrows are done. It's just so classic. It's beautiful. Even today, that is a beautiful rendering of a woman's face. You can tell it's vintage. It's not a modern take. Oof. Sorry, Mikey. Anyway, this one we got Sheena, Queen of the Jungle, back long before she had anything to do with any Marvel comics. And I believe Sheena is being published by Dynamite now. Marvel did publish the movie adaptations. There was a Sheena movie. So that's a thing you should go track down if you want to watch that. We're still in 1992. Still pulling from the Fiction House collection. It's just gorgeous. The art in these is gorgeous. They knew how to make people look beautiful. They knew how to make people look scary. I don't know. I love the way it was drawn. Stylistically, I've always enjoyed it. Obviously I do. That's why I make videos about it. And this has a lot more gray palette going on in the background than some of the others. You can tell there's a little bit different color going on with the art. I don't mind it. It just doesn't pop quite as well. It's not as vibrant. Anne and her mate. I am not familiar with Anne. Anne. Huh. I wonder if that's the real name of somebody else and I not recognize it. Kanga was approaching home now. Dun, dun, dun. Always kidnapped by those damn dirty apes. Get your hands off me. See, straight up leopard spearing right there. Get yourself a new outfit. Yeah, look at this guy. They just make people look like so crazy. What is going on here? Oh, it's Tara. That's a weird pose for Tara. I wasn't sure what was happening. This is Tara from the FemForce. I guess you'd call her a jungle girl. I don't generally think of her as a jungle girl because she grows large, and I consider one of the giant girls from the AC Comics line, of which they do love their giant women. They are always making a giant girl book. This is good looking here. Fighting a doppelganger. That's bad even in the jungle. An actual dragon. Don't see those that often. And what do we got over here? Oh yes, Columbia's 1984 Sheena. Cinematic jungle lasses are distinctly an endangered species. I have not seen this movie, but I feel like it's one of those that I probably should. I should just find that somewhere. I have no idea what that is. The heat is in the Copacabana. Tropical heat. Rio, steamy Amazon review. No idea what that is. Looks like either a film that I don't want to watch or a vacation that I don't want to go on. Not positive. I am interested in Irish McCalla as TV Sheena. Best in the West. Well, that is it for Jungle Girls today. That is 4 through 8. Taking off about 4 to bite. I do like this orange and blonde cover here, so we'll leave it on that. I want to thank you guys for watching. Appreciate it. I will catch you guys later. That's my story. Bye.